Hello everyone. Today we'll know what are the options we should enable or disable before scheduling a Zoom meeting for teaching. So let's begin. So first of all, you need to open a browser. So I'm turning on a browser that is Chrome, and there in the search box you need to search for Zoom sign in. And when it is loaded, the first link that you'll get, you have to click it on, and after it you will be asked for entering your ID and password. So when you enter your ID and password, you will get an interface like this, where at the top you get a drop down list, meetings drop down list. When you click on it, you get so many options like profile, meetings, webinar, recordings, settings. So you need to click on settings. So when it is loaded, you will get so many options to disable or enable. So I would suggest you to reset all the settings because you might have done some changes. So I would suggest you just reset it first and then do it as I suggest you. So my one setting is already modified, so I'm going to reset it like this, and others are normal, I guess. So now I'm starting from the top, that is host video. Host video, you need to turn it on, and then after participants video you need to turn it on. Then in audio type, you should keep it on computer audio. So click it, and then to make changes you need to click on the save button. Now if we go below, so other things, if I am not checking on it, so it means it will remain the same. Now if we go below, you will find an option for enabling personal meeting ID. So personal meeting ID, I would suggest you to turn it off, because to schedule any meeting for teaching, I would suggest you to use the computer generated ID and password. Password you can change it later on, that I'll teach you in how to schedule a meeting. So I would suggest you to disable it by just clicking on it, and then it will be asked to confirm, and now it is disabled. Now if I go below, you can see so many options already disabled, so I would suggest you to keep it the same way. Now require password when scheduling new meeting. This you need to keep it the same way, means turned on. Other things, if I'm not touching it, and it means I'm not making any changes, so it will remain the same, means if it is turned on, so it will be turned on only. Now this one, require password for participants joining by phone. This you need to turn it on, so that if any person is joining by phone, they require a password. Now just below there is an option, mute participants upon entry. I would suggest you to keep it muted, means you can enable it, so that if any participant is entering your into your meeting, they will be muted. Now if I go below, I can see a chat option is also there. So I would suggest you, for teaching, you keep it turned off only, because it will create a chaos in the class. So disable it, and if you disable chat, the private chat is automatically disabled. Now if you go below, you will find an option that is co-host. So this option allows the host to add co-host, so that a person can be assigned as a host. It will have almost same controls like host, and he or she will help you in hosting the meeting. So if you can, but for teaching, I think for the licensed user, we have an option called alternate host also. So I think you can use that, so you keep it turned off. Now next option we have, that is allow show meeting control toolbar. This you need to turn it on, and just below it there is an option show zoom windows during screen share. This you need to turn it on so that if you are sharing the screen, then your zoom window is also visible. Now a very important feature of Zoom, that is screen sharing. This allows the host and the participants to share their screen or contents during meetings. Now I would suggest you to keep it on host only so that the host only can share, not the participants. And when you make changes, it will ask you to save it, so I would click on save button. Now just below this option there is an option called annotation. I would suggest you keep it turned on so that the host can annotate. If the host wants to highlight something, that can be highlighted using annotation. But yes, it has a disadvantage also. It allows the participants also to annotate. But in the next video I'll teach you how to disable annotation for the participants. So you keep it turned on. Now just below this option there is an option called remote control. I would suggest you to turn it on, and then just below it there is an option allowed remove participants to rejoin. You can turn it on and then allow participants to rename themselves. I would suggest you keep it turned off. Now for hiding the participant's profile picture in the meeting, you can turn it on so that nobody can see anyone's profile picture. If we go below, we'll find an option report participants to Zoom. So I would suggest you to keep it turned on, and the other options like breakout room, remote support, closed captioning, and all these options to keep it turned off. Now next we have virtual background. This I would suggest you to turn it off so that no any user can replace their background with any selected image. Now one thing you will notice, when I'm making changes in any option, it is giving a message at the right side, that is it is modified. It means this setting has been enabled or disabled by me only. Now below options will remain the same the way it is, like turned off. And next we have, that is waiting room. Yes, this option is very important because when attendees join a meeting, so they need to be placed in the waiting room before the host, and if the host allows, then only they will be allowed to join the meeting. So I think this you should turn it on, and then when you will turn it on, you will get other options like choose which participants to place in the waiting room. So I would suggest you to keep it all participants. Now at the bottom, one last option is there that you need to make changes, that is when a cloud recording is available. So when you want to record the meeting and when you want to place it on the cloud, store it on the cloud, so I think this should be turned on. And when you are recording, so this should send a copy to the person who schedules the meeting. So this option, that I think you should check it and save it. So this was the last option, and the other things will remain the same, and we have got all the things. So that's all from my side. This is Abhishek. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned.